Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Owlet tournament. Tonight, we are going to be presenting the All-Stars Draft. I'm going to be your host for tonight, Reignbow, and joining me to help present the Minors Division is TheKing.
Hello.
Now, just quickly introduce our two teams here for the Minors Division. We have Team 1, who's being coached by Viper from MSBY, Cherenkov from Vote Meme Today, and Teru from Odyssey. Our representative for them tonight is going to be Cherenkov.
Hi, everyone.
Then over on Team 2, we have Yellow Cello from MSBY, Pink Central from MSBY, and Edge Crusher from Road Warriors. Representing them tonight, we're going to have Yellow Cello.
Hey, folks.
And Edge Crusher.
Hello, everyone.
So to determine who is going to be going first, we are going to do a quick coin flip. Team 1, would you like heads or tails?
We will take heads.
Okay. And Joey, if you could give us that coin flip there. Okay, so it will be Team 1 going first. So, getting into this, who would you like your first pick to be? There are lots of great options here on the field.
Well, I think you got to start at the top, and the top is always royalty. So we're going to go with the one, the only, TheKing.
I see. So, King, what are your thoughts on being the first pick?
I want to ask, why would you pick TheKing as the number one fight? Okay. Why would you pick TheKing as your number one draft pick?
Do I seem like someone with a plan?
Potentially.
I'm also now noticing that Joey does not know how to spell cello. I just saw this graphic. But moving on here, Team 2 is going to be getting 2 picks here. So I believe Edge, you're going to be making the first one, and Yellow Cello is going to be making the second one.
All right. I choose Miko.
Miko. So, why are you choosing Miko for your first pick here to start off your draft?
Because Miko is an off-tank player who is a very skilled player, but instead of her skill being centered around her own high power, high carrying plays, she enables her teammates to make those plays. So since I don't know Yellow very well, I don't know what players he might pick or how they're going to work together, I think that Miko is a safe choice to work well with and enable well whoever else gets chosen for this team.
Gotcha.
Agree completely.
Pretty good choice there. So now, Yellow Cello, getting into your pick.
Okay. I honestly had Emmy in mind as well, but he's also an off tank. So, Okay, you know what? Just to induce rioting, I will go with Warren, so we can have a good main tank as well.
Warren.
Gotcha. Yeah, so Warren is the ever so popular main tank from Vote Meme Today. I think chat's pretty well aware of why he's being chosen. Notice a very positive person around. Was there any other commentary you have to make about that pick?
No, I mean I just it is a lot because there's a lot of good main tanks in minors right now. I was mega impressed with Hailshin on our match with Odyssey as well. So just thinking about him as well. But I like inducing riots. Chat promised riots, so I'm gonna go with Warren for that.
Yeah, I believe there are promises of riots, whether he was first pick or whether he was not first pick. So, he's gonna be third pick here.
I'll just say Warren is who I would have chosen to go with Miko as well. He's an aggressive Rhine, and Miko works very well with aggressive Rhines. So off to a good start here.
All right,
Cool.
yeah, we got some good synergy going.
Yeah, well,
Warren, I will say, is I played with him last year when I was season 3 minors Happy Squids. He is a wonderful guy to work with. Amazing tank player. Is you definitely. I'm kind of scared of this tank lineup now. This could be bad.
You're like why'd I have to pick to go up against them? I mean, he has
Yeah.
been known to main tank different majors main tanks, so
Oh
Well,
yeah.
we'll get to see how he ends up performing here in All Stars. So moving on to Cherenkov and your next 2 picks. So first pick here.
My first pick, well, technically second pick, is going to have to be Deja Vu for DPS.
Deja Vu. So I'm curious on your thoughts for that DPS lineup because you did pick both DPS first.
Yes, so we're really playing that no limit game right now. So we're going to go double Fara Mercy. Not too many leaks here, but you know, TheKing, Deja Vu, they're both probably the best Faras in the league, to be honest. In my book, I love them as Faras. So we just want to have that aerial superiority achieved. That's the goal.
That does
Because
sound like
Warren
a
can only
very good
hit so
idea.
much with a hammer.
That does sound like a very good idea. I like the sound of that.
Yes, we may be seeing Team 2 picking up some snipers here soon to get rid of that aerial superiority. What is going to be your third pick here, Cherenkov?
Our third pick is going to be Emmy for off tank.
Emmy.
Cool.
I mean, I feel like I don't even need to ask why you picked Emmy. Emmy, the man, he's been popping off the entire season. Like, yeah, what?
Yeah,
Just
get some
last
pretty
game
consistent
Odyssey.
diva bombs there.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy. Very good pick. Yes, I don't even think there needs to be an explanation for that.
Yep. So moving on to Team 2, you guys get 2 more picks. So again, starting with Edge Crusher, and then moving on to Yellow Cello.
All right. Well, you mentioned that we're going to start picking some snipers, and I did actually have a strong hit scan player in mind to add to our lineup. Someone that plays both well with the tanks and having to create a crossfire to take some pressure off the tanks. Both styles of play, I've seen them do really well, and that is Oakley from Hyperion.
Ooh, Oakley from Hyperion. There's a number of great choices there. So I was kind of on the edge of my seat figuring out which one it would be.
Yeah, same. But yes, I will say Oakley, very, very good hit scan.
Yeah, I mean, on the current first place team, I think is where they're. Yeah, that's where they're standing right now. Been some slight changes in standings recently, but yeah, I mean, picking up someone from the number 1 team so far, we've had, some MSY players, VMT, kind of all around, but picking one from a top team, definitely a good choice. So moving on to Yellow Cello's pick for Team 2.
So since Warren is a pretty good Rhine as well, but I think if you want to enable that, you want a great Ana, and I was pretty impressed with Plasma's Ana from Hyperion as well. So I will go with Plasma.
Double Hyperion pickup. I think a pretty good choice there. I've definitely seen Plasma do really well on that Ana.
Oh yeah, Plasma with those sleeps. I remember when we played Hyperion, those sleeps.
Yeah, you got
crazy.
You got charged, right?
Yellow.
I'm sorry.
Please.
Okay.
Please.
I'm
No.
gonna mute again.
Well, we are going to swap back over to Team 1 with Cherenkov for her next 2 picks here.
So for main tank, this was a hard one, but as some of you may know, I did coach Warren on VMT, and now I'm very much looking forward to coaching against Warren in this All-Star week. So we're going to be going with Hailton as our main tank.
Awesome. So that's the Odyssey main tank, who occasionally has disconnecting issues, from what I have seen. But yeah, I would definitely, Whitty Zid, he performs very well on that main tank position.
This man's reaction speed, absolutely nuts. You can't shatter against him unless you've already destroyed his shield. His shield will go up.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yes, very. He's an amazing main tank.
Oh, yeah, we also apologize for the extra A in the middle of Hailshin's name. The A between the L and the T is not supposed to be there. But it was a bit too late to fix when we noticed the error, so apologies for that. Moving on to your second pick here. Okay, so now you can edit it, Joey. he claimed you couldn't before, but so what is going to be your fifth pick here? You have your tank line, your DPS line.
On to the supports, yes. And so our first support pick is going to be Aqua.
Aqua, the MSBY player. Yeah, definitely has some impressive play. Just got to see her play on Sunday. Definitely looking pretty good. Definitely can play that Lucio and that Mercy.
Yeah, I feel like I
use some more words.
feel like I could definitely vouch for Aqua here. Very, very good Mercy pocket. But
are you
I wouldn't
happy to
know
be
or
working
anything.
with her again on your All Stars team?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. Although I guess she could always be pocketing Deja, so you never know.
True. We'll have to see who the other support player is for Team 1, but we are now going to be moving back over to Team 2 with Edge Crusher and Cello for their last two picks. So currently, we also have we have the tank line. We have one DPS and one support. So I'm going to be curious to see who these last two picks are. So Edge Crusher.
All right, so I'm going to pick up a solid second support to back up our strong Ana and someone that I think will be well organized and do a good job of stepping up to lead this team if it's necessary and if no one else is up to the task, and that would be Eresh Kagil. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly.
Eresh Kagil, I believe, is the correct pronunciation.
All right, thank you. Thank you for being smarter than I am.
Oh, well, I know Eresh should talk to her, so that helps. But yeah, definitely a great pickup. Been around Owlet for a while. Does a great job on the Ana for VMT. King, any extra commentary from you?
I actually played with Erish Season 1. Phoenix Esports. It was a great team.
Way back.
I was way back. And yes, I can say Erish, very, very good individual, very, very good on that support role.
Cool.
So yes, I can vouch as well.
Yeah, so moving on to Yellowtail's pick for the second DPS. Well, I say second DPS, but if he wants to pick up another main tank, he is perfectly allowed to. So.
Just checking. Do we get 6 players in total?
Yeah, and 6 players in total, and there will be subs available. If one of your players ends up not being able to make playoffs.
Are we? I mean, like,
All-Stars.
as far as like subs, okay. So are these guys gonna be playing for the entire thing, for the entire duration then of the game?
Yes, unless one of them has to leave.
Okay. You know what? If they run like, if they happen to run like Pharah Echo or something on us, I'm gonna take a second good hit scan for this, and you know what? I'm gonna go with a little bit of bias here, but I'm gonna go with Glide because he's been pretty excellent for the team all season.
Yeah, definitely a good pickup there. I mean, like I said earlier, there's a number of great ones. Zebra Cookie is another one coming to mind, but you
Zebra Cookie was very good as well.
A bit of that bias sometimes. I mean, overall, it's your only MSBY player on your own team, so.
Exactly. You know what? I would have picked more.
Now I gotta ask, because I don't know him at all. I don't recognize the name at all. Is he any good? Do I need to watch out for him?
King.
If you ask him, he will probably tell you he will blap you out of the sky. But I don't. That's kind of what I expect him to say.
So if I don't ask him, will I be okay?
Yeah, just don't ask him and he won't blap you. I think that's how it works. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay, yes. Well, now over to Chernkov's last pick. Probably a support, but you never know.
You do never know. Back in my Owlet Season 1 days, we did run 5 tanks, 1 support, so it really could go anything. But
you are vote meme today, so.
You'll probably have your intuition is probably right in this case, because our last pick will be Paradote.
Paradote, another great main support player. So not opting for that honor, sticking to your guns with the double far mercy, preparing for that no limits round. You know, I think King and Deja are happy to hear that one.
I think I'm very excited for this All Stars match. I think this is the first time that someone wants me to play Pharah. It feels good. It feels really good.
Wait,
Yellow.
Yellow, yes, Yellow.
no, I mean I'm just gonna reject that statement, but
Yellow, you only have to put me in because I have to.
But yeah, so definitely some wonderful picks here. Obviously, not everyone's going to be able to be on an All Stars team. Obviously, some wonderful names that did not get picked, but you can always stick around and watch the awards show that's going to be coming up towards the end of All Stars to see them, probably land somewhere near the top, even if they did not get picked here today. They probably got a number of votes, so we will get to see who ends up winning the overall MVP slots. But overall, I think these are some pretty solid teams. I'm excited to see how the strategies end up working out for that All Stars game, which has not been scheduled yet. So we didn't know who was going to be playing, and so we didn't have availability yet. But so yes, that should be coming between Friday and Tuesday.
Oh yeah, looks like it's gonna be an excellent matchup. You've got 2 projectile versus 2 hit scan, and we'll finally be able to see what the better role is, projectile or hit scan.
What is the superior DPS type?
It's projectile.
Yeah, of course you think that.
Not biased at all. It's projectile.
I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts on the other team's picks. So I'm curious, Charon Kyle, what are your thoughts on Team 2's roster here?
Let's see. Stating facts, I've coached a third of their team before, and specifically the part of the team that's what they're doing wrong and consistently. So I very much look forward to using some of that info. Beyond that, I really respect Oakley. They were considered absolutely as one of our hit scan. And honestly, as much as I can trash talk Warren and Erish for knowing their flaws, they don't have that many. So you definitely picked a good team. Oh, and Miko. Oh, shout out to Miko. Played against them once, but insanely annoying diva.
I think that's every diva's goal, though.
You're not playing diva right if you're not annoying.
Exactly. Moving on to Edge Crusher and Yellow. What are your thoughts on Chernikov's pickups?
It's kind of funny that you say a third of our team is coached under you, but half of your team is coached under us. So I'll just leave that there in terms of that advantage. But I mean, look, I love all my players, so expecting them to pop off during this game, but we'll see what we can do.
Edge Crusher, any thoughts?
I have confidence in us. I'm less concerned about the other team's picks and the mistakes they're going to make. I'm focused on my team and what I can do to help them build synergy in the short time that we're going to have to build that synergy. And I think it's going to work well together. Like I said, Warren is an aggressive Rhine. Miko knows how to work with an aggressive Rhine, and Oakley also knows how to work with an aggressive Rhine. And I think we can build off of that as the core of our team, working with this aggressive main tank player. And the support will rise to the challenge and keep up with that. And I think it's going to go really well. So that's what I'm focused on.
Cool. Well, I'm absolutely excited to see it. This is going to be the end for our minors division here. We're going to go to a short break and be back with the majors division in about 5 minutes, I would say. So make sure to stick around. Welcome back, everyone. It is the All-Star Draft. We are now on to the Majors Division, and I am going to be joined by PaperMonk to help present all of these amazing picks here in the Majors Division.
Hey there, folks.
For Team 1 here in Majors, we are going to have Mr. Crit from Dice Rolls and Evelix from Bench Boys are the coaches for that team. We have Mr. Crit here representing them.
Hello.
And over on Team 2, we have Angelic from Bench Boys and Edix from Dice Rolls. Edix is here representing that team.
Yellow.
But yes, we are going to go to the coin toss. So, Mr. Crit, would you like heads or tails?
I'll take heads.
Awesome. Joey, give us the coin flip.
Boom. What'd you say before the show, Edix, about getting the first draft pick?
Don't worry about it. This was all in the plan.
Okay.
Okay, so it's going to be Crit going first, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, Paper, I believe you wanted to say something before we get into our first pick here.
And Mr. Crit, I'm very interested in hearing who your first pick is going to be here today, and why is it going to be Clutch Caliber?
See. Okay. So my first pick is going to be Silent Drumroll. That's not their name. Kai from Dice Rolls.
I dislike you.
So the reason being, I mean, everybody that has watched a Dice Roll stream or a no stream, an Owlet kind of knows that he's cracked out his scan. Put him on Widow, put him on Tracer, Kree, Ash. I mean, anything. I mean, sometimes some Proj as well he can play. So he's like very flexible, very strong player, both mechanically, but also in terms of like just being very dedicated to improving. So I think he's a pretty strong player for me to start out with.
Yeah, I definitely remember feeling the oppression of his Widowmaker when playing against him.
Yes, we are going to move on to our second pick here from Edix.
All right. So Mr. Crit kind of heard what I said earlier and just stole my pick. So that's perfectly fine. This was all in the script. I've been thinking a million light years ahead, even though it's a measure of distance. So my second pick the first pick on this team is going to be Moiraine from Dice Rolls.
Yeah, definitely a strong support there.
Interestingly enough, Moiraine has climbed all the way up from bronze to be here.
Yeah,
Oh.
and she was on No Season 3 and then Season 3.5 obviously on this team, and I've had the pleasure of coaching her, and she's just improved so much and like been able to pick up comm roles like really easily. So she should serve as a nice backbone for this team.
For sure.
And you get one more pick before I move back to Mr. Crit.
And my second pick is going to be Clutch Caliber from Crusaders.
Oh.
Well,
Clutch
not your first pick, but I'll allow it as a second pick.
Yeah, and he's shown to be a really good main tank on Crusaders, and kind of like tends to dominate. He kind of goes in really aggressive, so we should be able to support that type of play style.
He's a very aggressive player and kind of a Sigma 1 trick. But he lives up to his name. He very often pulls crazy things out of nowhere when he shouldn't be able to.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to see that. So, moving back over to Mr. Crit for his next two picks. What is going to be your first one here?
All right, my second pick on my All-Stars team is going to be Testing. I've coached a lot of off-tank players throughout the years, and Testing is probably the most not only well-rounded, but also just strongest player in this kind of elo, especially on Diva. He's got a great mind. He's very always thinking about what to do next. He's always ahead. He's always very willing in terms of just like always asking for advice and never being afraid to put himself as far as he can ahead of the competition. So that would be my second pick on my team.
Cool. Well, let us get into what is going to be your third pick here. So you have a DPS and a tank.
Yeah, so my third pick here, to hit one from each category while I'm at it, is going to be Pineapple, main support from prior team I coached earlier on in the season, Bandicoots. If it wasn't for his internet going out as much as it did early in the season, I honestly think he'd be a top 3 main support. His comms are always exceptional. I remember his ult tracking was really solid as well, and he was just very dedicated to improving and just showing up, and he was very receptive to feedback. So I think he'll be a strong person to lead the comms or contribute.
Yeah, Pineapple claims that the only reason Advantage and Repeat made it to Diamond is because they carried them all the way up there.
But yeah, it's definitely a well-rounded approach there from Crit. Moving back to Edix, who currently has a support in Moraine and tank in Clutch Caliber. What is going to be your third pick here?
All right, so I need to round out my main tank with an off-tank pick, so I will be taking Solventic from Crusaders.
Awesome. So, can you tell us a bit more about why you went with Soul?
There's a lot of main tanks on, or there's only like 2 main tanks on high up on my board, and a lot of off tanks. And Crit took testing, so Solventic has been really good. I don't know like way too much about the player in general, but like just been pretty good in Crusaders in general.
Pretty certain Solventic is on commitment.
Commit? Really? It said Crusaders on the. Well, you know what? That's fine.
I think Edix may have misread something there.
I was
And
looking at the
Solventic.
rosters. I was looking at the rosters, but I do remember Solventic from, I think, Burn Season 3. If I am not incorrect, I might be.
That would be incorrect.
Okay, you know what? I'm just misremembering things.
Yeah, according to my information, Solventic is actually an off-tank player.
Oh, I know that.
Okay.
That's like the one thing I do know. Okay, so that's my third pick.
Okay, well, what is going to be your fourth pick?
My fourth pick will be on DPS. I'm going to be taking Audacity from Velocity University.
Awesome, and that was what a name I'm also just very familiar with. I've heard a lot of great things about Audacity, even though I do not keep that much track of majors here. But can you tell us a bit more about Audacity, Paper?
Well, I know that Audacity is a hit scan specialist, prefers Ash and Tracer, which is very good for the way the meta is currently going. And according to his team, he is very loud in the comms.
Yeah, absolutely. Audacity also has just been popping off on Velocity, especially in the second match where he played them. He was just out of his mind. He's done a lot of really, really good things. Yeah. So I'm excited to see him play in All Stars.
Mm-hmm. Very
cool.
Solid pick.
Now we get back to Crit with his currently very well-rounded team, seeing what role he is going to pick up for his fourth pick here.
All right, so heading into my fourth pick on the team, I'm gonna be heading back to DPS. I'm gonna be picking up Repeat, who is a mostly projectile player, but he's also can play hit skins as well. I coached him a little bit earlier on in the season, and the one thing that stood out to me for him is he's very committed to grinding out a hero if he needs to add it to his hero pool. Whether it was grinding out Ash earlier in the season and getting it down better than our main hit scan at the time, or grinding out Sombra. He's very dedicated to adding stuff to his hero pool, and I think that could be pretty valuable.
His hero pool is extremely long. He's got at least twice as many heroes listed as any other player in these picks. So that I can definitely see how he is bringing the flexibility to your team. Although I am kind of noticing a pattern of you picking only people you've coached before.
To be fair, I think Crit's coached a lot of people.
That's true. That is also true.
But yeah, so Now it is time for your fifth pick here. I'm guessing you're either going to go with tank or support, continuing with that 2-2-2 pattern.
True. There is only one left I can pick from each of those two categories. So
Well,
it
I
will
mean,
have to
you
be.
you can pick 2 supports at the end here if you want.
True.
That is legal.
Correct. Actually, I didn't think about that. But that was not in my cards in my original plan. So I'll just stick to what I have written down. So my next pick is actually going to be swinging over to the tank side of things. So I've already got an OT set in place. So I'm going to be putting in a MT, a main tank, for my team. And that is going to be the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, Paper from DR.
So, Paper, I think I'll let you speak on yourself here real quick.
No, that's not actually me. This has been the most confusing thing for me. Every time I played against Dice Rolls, I got so confused because I was Paper and main tank.
Yeah, I forgot.
He's Paper and main tank. They also had Paper Sore on their team, and there were just so many Papers, and I always felt bad for all the casters whenever that happened.
I mean, in preparation for this, I thought that was you. So the confusion is understandable.
I mean, even I would get confused when we'd be like, get him, get Paper. I'm like, no, not me. According to Paper, though, his signature hero is Red Mage.
Okay.
Fun fact. Fun fact.
Well, let's swing it back over to Edix for your last 2 picks.
All right, so I do need another DPS and another support. So I'll start off with the DPS. I will be taking McNewbie from Crusaders.
I think that's a good choice. McNewbie always outshot Kai when we fought against them.
Hey, I think it was relatively even, and you know the outcome of that match. But McNewbie, to be fair, McNewbie gave us a lot of problems. So I'm really excited to see McNewbie and Audacity working together, 2 of the most brilliant DPS players in Owlet majors.
Yeah, that's definitely an intimidating DPS line there. Well, let us get into your last pick here. How are you going to round out your All-Stars team?
And to do it, to round out my All-Stars team, I am taking the one, the only majestic 10 million IQ individual himself, Misfit from Bench Boys. Because if I didn't do it, there would be tears all around. So I just have to do it.
Well, I think that's definitely an exciting one to see. He's been playing that Ana pretty well over there on Bench Boys. So any comments on that one from you, Paper?
I think adding the Ana there will definitely be a very good addition to the team. Just really round it out nicely. Although I will point out that according to Misfit, they might be Hawk from Owl.
Oh,
I see. But yeah, so now we get into our last pick for Majors All-Stars here. Which one of these lucky players is going to be heading over to All-Stars for Mr. Crit's team?
Yes, we've got one more player to fit on the roster, at least starting wise, and it is going to be on the support category. I've already got a main support on the list, so this one's going to be more of a flex support kind of deal. Fun fact, it's also the only person on this list that I have not coached, so I know that was brought up before.
Breaking the pattern.
I have not coached this person before, but it is going to be Gerbert, currently on Crusaders. I watched him play back when he was on the Outcast, and compared to his play on the Outcast compared to now, I've seen it drastically improve on not only Ana, but different heroes as well. So I think he'd be a really good flex support player to add to.
Yeah, I might be biased, but I think that's probably the best pick you could have made.
Yeah, a little bit biased over there, Mr. PaperMonk from the Crusaders.
just a little bit. His sleep darts and nades are always on point, it seems like. I feel like he doesn't really miss them very often. He's also experienced. He's played in previous seasons before. Although don't put him on Lucio. He has no idea how to play Lucio.
Well, that could create some issues if he gets Lucio in the Mr. Heroes map. But yeah, so I think these are some really interesting, fun teams, and I'm really excited to see them play whenever their game ends up getting scheduled. And as I did with the minors division, I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on the other teams' pickups. So, Crit, I will let you go first to make your judgments of Edix's team here.
I think it's a very interesting roster of players he's put together. I definitely think working together, if he can get the puzzle pieces locked in, can definitely be a pretty strong team. Like we said before, Audacity and McNoobie, both very top quality DPS players. Both can be nightmares if they're on their A game. Clutch Caliber, kind of an insane tank player with that aggro play. But yeah, I think it's a very solid roster. I think for sure it could be a challenge for me to go against, but I'm excited for it nonetheless. Excited for them.
Cool. And going over to Edix for his thoughts on Crit's pickups.
I think Crit's pickups are pretty expected and pretty solid overall. I'm just gonna throw a curveball at him. Honestly, we're just gonna run hog and ball. We're just going to gonna run like the most oppressive support line, the Moraine Misfit support line, and just run him down. Kai and Repeat will have nothing to do against Audacity and McNoobie, so we're just gonna run it down. Curveball time. Very easy win. Mr. Crit, you've made a horrible mistake.
I think only time will tell with that judgment, Edix.
Well, this is shaping up to be a nice and spicy Majors All-Star game here. But so, PaperMonk, I'll leave you. Do you have any closing statements here about these two teams?
You know, as much as I was giving some crap earlier, I think that there's going to be a little bit of synergy built in already with so many players being somewhat familiar with each other. And it'll be interesting seeing how they exploit each other's weaknesses, because a lot of these players have played with players from the other teams, so they're going to have some idea of how to potentially counter the habits of the other players. And I think that'll make it for a very interesting game.
Yes, I do agree. So that is going to be it here for our draft. Definitely looking forward to these All-Star games, including the coaches game and the caster clash, also going to be coming up this weekend, along with a couple community games. So make sure to tune into all of those, as the times are going to be getting announced rather soon here. And yeah, I guess we'll see you then. And that's all we have for you tonight. Thank you guys for coming out and watching the stream.